Hey, welcome back to Nerd Your Enthusiasm. We literally just finished Ozark Season 4, Part 1, and we're going to give you our review. So, immediate thoughts, immediate reactions?
When is Part 2 coming out? I mean, we had this whole first half of Season 4, which is the final season. Obviously, it's setting up a lot. It's pulling together loose ends from throughout the show. Obviously, it ended on a huge note. Obvious spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah.
But I mean, right off the bat, we have one. Ruth is now wanting to
On
do
the warpath.
anything to go kill Hobby. She wants him dead.
She's
thanks to Jonah, she knows, because Jonah's like, "F you, parents." I'll tell Ruth who did it. Who's responsible.
Jonah. Ooh.
So leaving on that cliffhanger is wild.
She was so good. The screaming, the emotion that she felt.
You're like, oh, she's mad.
She's so good.
She's mad.
She's my favorite.
Yeah,
so good.
And then obviously I did not expect Javier to walk in and just bye, Darlene, bye, Wyatt.
So one little subtle thing that I noticed, did you notice, and it could be nothing, they could just both be dead, but Wyatt was a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
Darlene was in the chest.
Was it?
Yeah. It was so I was like, they could pull some shenanigans and like keep her alive, just like at the end of I think episode 5, where they leave on the cliffhanger of like she's having a heart attack. They could. I'll take whatever they do. If they keep her alive, I'll hate it, but I'll love it. But also, if they kill her and they just deal with that fallout, that'll be crazy.
I think the only reason I might think she might be dead is because like when Ruth shows up, you might think that like she would have like moved, but
yeah, that's true. We don't know how soon after.
Yeah, but
that's true. If she's dead, I mean, obviously, good riddance. Like, she's a great character, but wow, it was long overdue. She just kept killing people.
Yeah,
like
she was obviously out of control.
Somebody looks at her the wrong way, and she just kills people.
Yeah,
she just kills them. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then Wyatt, who's like, I'm gonna marry her.
Poor kid. I felt so bad. Like, I was like, just go with Ruth, go with 3, but
yeah. And you do feel bad for him because, like, if they establish his character as being someone who's in this bad circumstances, but he's intelligent, and he could have gone places, like he could have gone to college, like they all said, and then he just didn't. And then he ends up with Darlene. He was working on it, and he wants to marry her. So, poor character, and then gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
So obviously the show's dark, and that's kind of the way it goes, but.
We'll
Marty will talk his way out of it. He seems to do that.
Oh wow!
With everything, but obviously,
if Wendy doesn't mess it up, Wendy.
I think that dynamic was really well because like they're fighting each other. They're also wanting to push back against Javier, who you have to walk on eggshells with. Like all of his scenes were really good because it was so high tension. Even though he was like, come on.
Like Navarro,
we're having fun, but you're like, oh no, everyone's afraid of him.
Navarro, you have to walk on eggshells with, but Javi is like a loose cannon.
Yeah,
like he's this young kid who wants to make a name
Navarro
for
was like, I'm gonna be logical about this.
Right.
But Javier is like,
but logical.
Yeah. But he's just a little unstable.
Yeah.
Because he cares so much about wanting to like be in control. He thinks that his ideas are the right ideas. That's why he will push back against his uncle because he's like, no, like this is the right way to do it.
I feel maybe
not.
I feel like there might be a little hint. So I can't remember what episode it was. I think it was 5. Mm-hmm. The title was Sangre sobre todo, and that means blood over anything, blood over everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could be a little hint that like Navarro, at the end of the day, could side with his nephew.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of is a chameleon, and if he can get the deal from the FBI, sure, and he can, do these things above board. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I think he'll go maybe with his family.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I don't know.
I mean, he's all about family anyway. That's why he's doing that. That's why he even attempted to make a deal.
But at the same time, Javi could just kill his uncle because he would totally do that too. I think.
Yeah.
So. I think he was a great addition to the show, Javi. I mean, he's a good character. I like his style and stuff. And then he just comes to the Ozarks, kills some people, messes some stuff up, and goes back to Mexico. Yep. And so it was really interesting. Also, one thing really quick I was going to say, obviously I don't want to wait for the second part, but I am happy that we get 2 parts and we get more, 7 and 7.
Yeah.
So if we have to wait, I'll take it. You know, but
and especially it'll give me time to go rewatch the entirety of the show.
Right.
You know, a week before the release date of part 2, and then the second I'm done catching up all the way again, I can start part 2 and have this series just watched as a whole.
Yeah.
And you know, as close to as little sittings as possible.
Yeah.
But everyone, I mean, the whole cast is just like absolute rock stars.
Killed it. So good.
Everyone, I mean, and especially like it's funny seeing like Jonah being rebellious in the way that he is, but he's also intelligent like Marty. So it's like all the characters are actually interesting. And that doesn't always happen where like you know characters are there just to be the character to push the story, but like these characters push the story in a way that it's like I care about each one of their plights essentially, where it's like they all have different goals right now.
A good example of that is Agent Miller, the FBI agent. Like she was super good, and you cared about her and her new baby, you know, and you understood why she was doing the things that she was doing.
Yeah.
The only one that I was kind of surprised about. So Jonah, they definitely upped his role, but Charlotte, I feel like Charlotte in the first part,
she was not in it much.
She was like barely in it,
yeah,
and she was before. So hopefully in part 2, you know, there's a little bit more with her. But Wendy, super good.
Oh man.
Marty, also good, and like that dynamic, and just the little hints that you could tell he was like proud of Jonah, even though it's like messing stuff up for them.
Yeah.
He's like proud, and Wendy's just like pissed.
Yeah.
But he's like.
But like when Jonah asked him for help. When they ran that red flag, you knew Marty was like, "Oh, you did all the things you're supposed to.
Right.
I'll help you find out, you know, what this is." And then like, with Marty's help to figure out what it was. But like you could absolutely tell Marty was like, "Oh, my son is doing the right thing," and clearly it's in the wrong.
Right.
But like he's like, "Oh, but," but he's smart and he's like me.
And I think that's what he's so intrigued about because he showed him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really walked him through it.
Yeah.
And so
he wrote his own program.
The
like
kid is just doing it
on
his own, so he's even more impressed. Like, oh, this is cool. Yeah.
So I think
I don't know. There could be this kind of dynamic where, because let's face it, his and Wendy's relationship. I mean, it's so strained.
Yeah.
So and Wendy's kind of unhinged at times, especially when it comes to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if that divides them, and Marty just kind of sides with, we saw it a little bit. He was kind of like siding a little bit with Jonah. So that could be. I don't know how that's going to shake out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing we should mention was the beginning, the opening scene.
Oh, yeah.
The car crash. Like, we never really saw a continuation of that.
Yeah.
Was that a flashback?
I think that's...
Is it a flash forward?
I think it's flash forward, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it midway through part 2, because I don't think that's the ending of part 2, like the ending of the show. Like, they get away, and then they get in a car crash, and like, wow, fate.
No.
No, I think that'll either be mid part 2 or maybe early part 2, because my theory is that that's a setup and it wasn't just, oh, this semi happens to be coming towards us that looks like the other trucks that the cartel uses. Like, I think it's a setup, but I do think it was a big enough event that, like, I thought about it the whole season where I'm like, is this going to happen? And like, is it going to happen before it ends? And it doesn't, so it's given us a lot to look forward to and actually be hyped for part 2. Yeah.
Another addition I just remembered too was the PI. He was a good addition.
Oh yeah, he was
constantly
good.
kind of pushing the giving it attention, and pushing them. Yeah, and I wonder, is it just that he was hired, or like is there even more
going on?
Like maybe by Navarro or somebody else. Like I don't know. They definitely gave him a spotlight, and I don't think it was for no reason.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna play a key role. So yeah, super good. Everybody was super good. Yeah. Ruth still killed it, and especially at that. Oh yeah, with Frank Jr. and Frank Sr. Darlene killing Frank Sr. And then she basically bought off Frank Jr. just to keep him quiet, to not take revenge for his dad. But that aspect was crazy too. A lot of things got shaken up in the first part. So predictions for the second part, the finale, because this is this will end the show.
In way of predictions, I mean, honestly, this is one of the shows where it's like I don't know. Like I could, say a few things, and they're all vastly different from each other. I don't know, but I kind of like that. I'm not gonna put too much like thought into this in particular because like I feel like I could convince myself of like a really good trajectory,
And then they go somewhere
and then
else.
it goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I'm kind of glad that I don't see the ending.
Yeah,
and then I could see it be good. I could see it be bad. I could see it be horrible for the family, but the ending being satisfying. You know, so.
Yeah.
My only theory is that the ending will be satisfying. That's about it. Because if it's not, it's going to be so disappointing.
Yeah. No, I think they'll stick the landing.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. Yeah, actually, you're right. I don't want to think about it too much, like what's going to happen with each of them.
Yeah. I like being surprised in this show because there's things that are so sudden, like when Helen gets shot in the head. Like, I did not expect that at all. So, like, I like that it...
Or Darlene and Wyatt.
Yeah,
at the end.
obviously. No, did not expect it. So I do like how there are still these shocking moments and these sudden moments.
Yeah,
a lot of shows are very,
are.
very predictable. But this is one that I say, sure, maybe in some aspects, whatever, but like as a whole, like when, you know, you can't trust anyone to make it out alive. So,
No,
you know,
you're right. Yeah,
I think that makes it
nowadays.
better. Yeah.
I wonder what Jason Bateman is going to do with his own character, you know, because it's kind of his show, directing a lot of the episodes, stuff like that. So we'll see. But other than that, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just here to see it.
Yep. So stick around. We don't know the release date yet for part 2, but we're going to do a full series recap and review for all of Ozarks right before that comes out to cover the entire series and our thoughts on it.
Yeah. So don't go anywhere. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Yes.
But anyways, until next time. See ya.